Good morning, everyone. Uh, how's everybody this morning? What's up, Jerry? Trade Maker, how you doing? Hey, Badir. What's going on, Joe? Excuse me. I still have this cold, so excuse the way I sound. I apologize in advance. Oh, what's up, Lonigan? Hey, we're stuck. We're stuck tonight. So, first thing is, I was actually organized this morning. I looked in my email and I saw that, ooh, okay, uh, we have margin issues, which means that now I don't know how this works at your prop firms, but I'm sure they have some sort of uh, risk management in place. So it's $594 to trade a micro and almost 6 grand to trade a mini. Margin has been increased. That takes out a lot of us who trade smaller accounts. And even for me trading my larger client account, uh, for me to put up $600 to trade a micro and for me to trade a mini and do work and stuff like that, it's got to be worth it, right? So the more margin you're putting up kind of makes you think what's going on. Then you look at the chart. Then you look at the chart, you're like, oh, okay, it's not a big deal anyway because there's nothing to trade. So yesterday we had a short squeeze again. How many of these squeezes have we gone through since COVID? Since we figured out that um, these markets are specifically designed at this time until there's a material change to just keep flushing and going higher and higher and higher. So the overnight low is just there. I mean, the overnight high is right here. The overnight low is kind of exactly where I told you guys it would be yesterday before Globex. I posted where to look for bids, and I'll tell you why in a second. And it's funny, not one person has asked me, right? I haven't gotten one question. Like yesterday at what time was it? 7 minutes before Globex started, I said, look for bids here. Okay. And uh, there's going to be offers higher, so there's supply up there. So we're going to backfill, right? But I put on the chart, and not one single person asked me, JJ, why would you look for buying in that area? So it's okay. I know Thanksgiving is coming, and you guys are starting to wind down. Details, my friends. God, I hate being. I'm. The problem with me doing these live streams is it seems like I feel like I'm always harping on things over and over again. But you guys got to start paying attention, right? And if you're wondering why you're not making any money trading, it's directly because you guys don't pay attention, right? You're asking all the wrong questions in the room, talking about all the wrong things, and you're not asking the right questions. So let's go take a look why. Yesterday I said look for bids in this area, right? Why was that? Because the high of the day, when we took that high of the day, we created a short position. And even though we filled the single prints, every time, if you look at the lows, the J and the K low couldn't even get down here. sorry, the I and the J low couldn't get down. K finally filled the singles. L's higher, M's higher. So that is an area of interest, right? And what I did at the time was I left the rectangle that I had, the single prints rectangle, and I left it there and I went, you know what? There's something going on there. Now I want to take you forward. Look at the point of control at 67.18. I said look for bids at this level. Maybe you guys didn't understand what I was talking about. Everybody asks me what I see. And then when I tell them what I see, they gloss over it. JJ, what do you see? What do you see? What do you see? What are you seeing that makes you do that? Right? Then I try and explain it, and everyone's like, okay, but options order flow. So why is it significant that we're 13 wide at 67.18? Where are my old market profile people? There are our old market profile people. That means there's a lot of time spent there. So I said look for bids. They've been bidding 67.18 all night, right? They drop down to 15.14 if they get a bargain. Just now, J-Lo corrected down to 11, but it could not take the low of K at 67.10, right? What's up, Juan? Hola, Juan. ¿Qué pasa? My building is full of people from Spain, Mexico, Ecuador. So hopefully I'll be fluent in Spanish soon. Um, yeah. So if you were to take the market profile and stick it all together, you'd see there's that point of control, there's the volume with it, right? There's two ways to look at market profile. There's one to split it out. The other is to look at it this way. It's slow, so I'm going to talk. I hope you guys don't mind. Because I can't really call out trades when, like, look at the 1 minute chart. Right? So, someone somewhere will pay attention. A couple of 100 years after I'm dead and gone, this video will exist, hopefully. In the billions and billions of content videos out there. Maybe some poor trader 100 years from now will see this and go, oh, okay. Just like I do when I read like some of Livermore's work and some of Bernard Baruch's work. Like, oh, okay. So, time. What's up, Ian? How you doing? I was laughing because everybody asks me what I see, and then when I tell them what I see, they ignore it. It's hilarious. I don't get it. So instead of getting frustrated, I just laugh, right? Time. That's why this market profile kind of looks very fat in the middle, because we have time spent. Now, what else? What is the most obvious thing when you look at today's market profile? I'm giving you a hint. It's the first thing that every trader should look at. You're a trader. You trade in a good inventory. You're a trader. The first thing you should wonder is where the hell is the inventory priced tonight? And how am I going to take advantage of this? Instead of looking at a market and going, okay, there's a moving average and a Nununachi and a Fibonacci and all of this stuff, why don't you go and look what kind of business is being done? Where's the inventory priced compared to yesterday? It's backfill short because inventory is short. I would say it's probably 80 to 90% short because I'd say maybe 90% of the volume transacted out of that 56,000 contracts is underneath 67.25, which is yesterday's close. Overnight inventory is short. Exactly. Now, considering that we have tomorrow is month end, right? Considering that, and considering that yesterday we kind of had a short covering rally, I would be very careful about shorting this thing until London opens and sees if we can take out 6,700. If we cannot take out 6,700, there is really no reason to be short when inventory itself is short. Right? Look at K period can't take out the low of J. Clues! Right? Pretend you're Inspector Clouseau. Right? Does your dog bite? He gets bitten by the dog and he goes, I thought you said your dog didn't bite. And the guy goes, that is not my dog. Look, clues, folks. Clues, clues. There's chart is full of clues. Any chart you look at. Okay? You should learn to be able to recognize these clues. Okay? We're looking for 67.18 and a half. That's that stop here. Inventory is here. Now, people who shorted this, there are people who are now short under 14. You can really see that on the 1 minute chart. Look at charts in an intelligent way. Don't put all that crap you guys put on them, right? Go look at a chart and look at it intelligently. There's 14. Look at the time spent under 14. You think that there's some knuckleheads that are short under there? Because right now they're helping push this thing up to 17. That's how markets work, right? You don't want to be the idiot short at the bottom. Now, I say that with love because I have been the idiot short at the bottom, right? It's not a good feeling. See? Look how that offer is lifting. That offer has been lifting now for a good, let me make this bigger. Pay attention to little clues. It's slow enough that you guys should be able to pay attention. Look, position. Or as they say in France, la position. This is where the shorts came in to buy. This is where wholesale built a long position. This is where we came in. This is when the shorts who are short here, instead of covering here, right? These are the dumb money shorts. That green candle is them going, oh crap. Go bid it back, buy it back, buy it back. Right? You know, it's like those movies where like Roadrunner and Coyote, the coyote gets across, he runs across to the top of the cliff, that he realizes there's nothing underneath him, and he falls. This is that, right? And the shorts all are backing away, right? See, under 67.14, the shorts are all like, yeah, bro, we're going to short. Yeah, we're taking this thing down. And then at 67.18, they're like, help, mommy, right? There you go. It's right there on the chart. Now, I know it's not easy to see if you don't know what the hell's going on. That's why you should come to our trading room, and I can teach you how the hell to read a chart without trying to figure out all sorts of crazy patterns when you don't understand why the pattern is being created. Wouldn't you rather know why something happens than try to memorize a pattern? Then you might actually be able to do proper business, right? Make sense? I don't know. Keep it simple. Hey, the levels are working. So I drew my balance levels. Now I'm testing them. So 67.20, quarter to 25 and 3/4. And I drew that balance zone, folks, yesterday before Globex opened. I posted it in the room. You guys understanding what I'm getting at? Take these this week. You're going to have some time off this week. Okay? Those of you who are interested in actually making money doing this, right? And I say this with as much respect as I can, because here's the thing, I respect your time. So there's no use in me sugarcoating this and candy coating this, okay? Those of you who actually want to make money at this should seriously consider working on their concentration. Now, that's one thing. The other thing is to learn what to do. Those of you who are listening to this on YouTube, I would say if you could come and check out our room and go through the videos and everything I teach this week, see how we got a short squeeze going, right? So target is 24, just where those stops are, up here. Join our room. We have AI that will help you. We have everything available that will help you get consistent. But you have to do some work. You got to work with us a little bit, right? You've got to say, look, this is a business. I intend to learn how to execute a business plan properly. Now, if you're trading, like, I understand. If you're like, for you, trading is like, I'm going to learn how to do some macrame, and then I'm going to trade, and then I'm going to learn how to make waffles, and then I'm taking a candle making class. Like, if it's that kind of a thing, I understand, right? Right? That's okay. But if you're serious about making, I'm going to quit my job, don't, for the love of God, do not quit your job and try and trade. You are going to be bankrupt, right? Keep a couple of sources of income so you don't have to make desperate, stupid trades because you need to pay the rent, right? Yes, Moran, before the Globex open. See, yesterday I did the last session and then I fell asleep. So every time I woke up, I checked the chart because I have a cold and I put notes in. So I was up at 11 o'clock for some weird reason, right? And, oh, I know what it was. The kids in the building had some issue with somebody and they came to me for advice, or they came to me to tell me the story, and we went at 11 o'clock. Seriously, my building is exactly like Seinfeld, if anybody's ever watched it. It's hilarious. I love it. It's great. Uh, and I checked the chart, Moran, and I went, ooh, cost basis. And I saw it, and I put it in. That's why I did it then. Look above and fail of 67.20, so if you're short 19.20, this is called shorting the backfill. I'd be looking for bids at 17.5, 18. If we can't get bids at 18, 17.5 filled, nobody needs to sell it that cheap, right? Short sellers. There you go. You should be getting filled now. See? If you're short 19.20 against the top of those candles, now you should just go and put some bids down here, right? So you do see it's a little two-sided. So that was a series of orders of short covering. They got filled and backed off, right? That's what happened right here, right? Exactly what I said. The smart money shorts came into cover. Wholesale built a position. We bought. The dumb money shorts realized they were screwed, and the people who were long here just started to sell into them. Do you understand? The buyers and the sellers are the same people all the time. It's not some hedge fund opening a position for an investment at 3 o'clock in the morning. This is speculation. Do you guys understand the difference? That's why the market's coming back now. That's why you sell into strength. That's why if you were long 14, 15, you should have been out by 20. Yes? No? Anyone? Bueller? Got it? If you are not celebrating Thanksgiving this week, you're going to have some time off, Thursday and Friday. You're going to have a 4-day weekend. So you should definitely spend time reviewing your trading plan, reviewing your year, looking at what you need to work on, looking at where you did okay, where you saw improvement, but don't spend too much time on what improved. Spend a lot of time on what you need to improve. Unfortunately, this business, you got to be a little hard on yourself, right? So if you were short under 20, you should have covered some of it at 16, 17. That is 3 or 4 points on a nice backfill short, right? We went we took the market up from 67.12 to 14. We took it up to 20. We created some demand. We went back and filled in that demand. We had a little sale here, right? For 3 minutes only. ES is on sale. Get them while they're hot, right? We still have that seller at 18.5. If we cannot get over 18.5, we'll come back down to 14. Markets can't go in circles. You know, they don't go in loop-de-loops. They go up and down or sideways. And there's a business reason why. It's not like we're trying to work out cold fusion here or string theory or any of that, right? You have goods, you sell the goods for a profit, you have a coffee. It's really not that complicated. But the details, my friends, are what's going to make you a lot of money or what's going to cost you a lot of money if you miss details. Spend time looking at details, review your charts, and don't just, you know, don't just go through the motions. Or do, that's okay because we need food, right? But if those who are serious, you should like, you know, and I see this all the time. I do these videos every weekend. Did an execution video. No questions. And then people ask me, JJ, how did you do that? I'm like, it's in the video. Oh, I played it at 2 times speed. Oh, your trading's going to be at 2 times speed to the poorhouse, right? Seriously, right? It's the end of the year, right? What are you going to do? What are you going to do, right? You got to work on your A plus setup. You know what an A plus setup is? The A plus setup is you. Have I done the work that I know this trade inside and out, like the back of my hand, through 3 or 4 different types of market conditions and order flow and varying degrees of choppiness or not chop, big candles, small candles, what do they mean? All of that stuff, you know, because if you're doing this just to bet and have a good time, go to Vegas. At least they'll give you a free meal and you'll see a show. Like when you lose money in Vegas, right? Don't they give you like tickets to a show or they give you a free meal or at least you get to hit the buffet for free at the very least, right? Trading, you don't get any tickets. You don't get to see, you know, I don't know what the shows are in Vegas. I haven't been there in 20 years, right? But you're not getting a meal at Morton's or anything like that for free, right? They're just going to take your money and say, they don't even say thank you in the market. That's the bad thing about markets. When, when they take your money in a casino, they say thank you. Here, they don't even say thank you. Thank you, Johnny. I didn't even have VWAP. What is VWAP tonight? right? See, you guys, you should even say, JJ, you don't have VWAP on the screen. Oh, too funny. 20-ish? Thanks. Oh, yeah, I always love this time of the year. You know, we sold stock like demons in September, October, and November. Get our wires, enjoy a nice week off. I mean, we wouldn't even be in, like, I would be in front of the screen because I was the executing trader for a whole bunch of different crews. Right? So I worked with a crew out of California, a crew out of New York, a crew out of Florida, some crews out of Colorado, Texas. But I was always the one in front of the screens. They would go out, cut deals, shake hands, kiss babies, you know, raise money, stuff like that. No, I forgot, Ian. I forgot to put VWAP on there. See how we're kind of drifting slowly back? We're under 18. So what did we do? We took the market, we took this, we sold it, and now we put it on sale, and we just stopped selling just right on top of the position. Now, if we really run out of buyers, we're going to sell it all the way down to 12. Okay? But that was a nice inventory correction, right? That was a nice inventory correction, and we saw that coming, right? You run a market profile, Johnny. There's a couple of things. I'm sorry. You can run a volume profile. Sorry, excuse me. That's one of the things about TPO charts. That value area or POC is a little harder to find, right? But after a while, if you look at charts, you can kind of use VWAP as well, right? So you know where the previous day's close is, and you know that, you know, it's up at 25, right? Which is right around here, okay? So you know, for example, here, I'm just gonna, one sec, stay with me, one sec. So the close is up here, and you can see that all the overnight inventory is underneath it. So overnight inventory is short. Now, then you can kind of look at the chart. This is a little harder, but you can see this pattern. And when that pattern puts itself in, what you can do is you can build a little position between 12 and 14, put your stops right here, right, and then sell into that strength. That's how you can manage it. You know VWAP is where you're going to be getting out of the trade. There you go. And when you're shorting, you use those sellers at VWAP. Once you're underneath VWAP, right, you could short it down because you know that the sellers are competing underneath VWAP, right? So when you're shorting, you want to find a seller and go, hey, pal, can I hitch a ride with you? Basically, you know what you're doing as a short seller? A retail short seller is like a hitchhiker. Now, you kids, back in the 70s, hitchhiking was popular, right? You'd stick your thumb out, somebody would pick you up and go. And that's what you're doing essentially when you're trading. We're hitchhikers, right? So we see a bunch of sellers coming because the offer keeps going lower, and we go, hey, can we sell next to you, right? And they say, okay, because they've got 5,000 contracts for sale. We have 5, right? So they don't really care. Here, London's opening. Let's see what it does. So we sell alongside, and when they stop selling, we cover. Do you understand that's what short selling is? That's all you got to do. You got to find the seller, sell next to them. When they stop selling, you cover. Get it? That works on every time frame. How do you know that the sellers are engaged? You get lower highs. How much more simple do you need? Right? If there's no seller, don't short. There's a seller? Great. They're your best friend. Right? Buy him or her a drink and hit the bid. See? Now you can see that there's a seller, right? L couldn't take out the high of K. Let me make this chart a little bigger. That high and that high. This one's lower. Wait for the next candle. If that high is underneath VWAP, then we'll likely come back down here. But experienced traders should be able to see that, aha, there is a rotation here. See that rotation? That's why I get you guys to draw balance zones, so you can see rotations instantly. Boom. So you're not delusional. That is a distribution rotation. Remember, because we still have all of this inventory from under here that we're selling here. That's what's going on. That's what's going on right now. We have a distribution rotation. So we took this cheap stuff, we're selling it up here, right? We retraced already and we proved that there are buyers at 16. So we're going to use those buyers to hold the market up and get rid of what we bought here, up here, for a profit. Very simple. Okay? Keep the concept simple, because if you go to overcomplicate this, you're going to trade like you're drunk and somebody tied your shoelaces together. Okay? You're going to fumble your executions. You're going to be wondering if you should do this, wondering everything should be boom, 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 in, out, in, out. You shouldn't be. You should be in a flow state when you're trading. You shouldn't be like, that's because you haven't practiced enough. JJ, I can't see this. I want to use that. No, you don't. Just discipline yourself. Do the hard work. Stop whining and do the hard work. That is going to be the motto of next year. Stop whining and do the work. Right? You got to. So they're selling at 20. They stop selling when we get down to 16. So in that 4-point range, they're distributing what they bought between 12 and 14 from sort of 16 to 20. Yeah, and you don't need 6 screens, right? You don't need 6 screens to trade. There are plenty of 9, 10, 11-figure traders who use 1 screen. See how we get to that 18 area, 17, they stop selling, they raise the offer to see if the buyers are coming in. Do you see how we're going back and forth over VWAP, right? Yeah, you're trading with an iPad with a cracked screen, right? Steve Jobs would be horrified. He would scream at you to go buy a new one. Those things are expensive, man. Good God. Like, people have to sell their kidneys to buy Apple products. No wonder the stock is so high. Well, that's pretty much it for today. Now let's see. Okay, what's next? What's the next agenda here? If the gods of order flow smile down upon us, what would be the best agenda? Software is really not that important, Johnny. It's good to have software that doesn't crash. I like Sierra Chart. People like NinjaTrader is good from what I hear. Other than that, those two trading platforms are all I really know, right? There are thousands of them, right? I don't like web-based trading platforms and you know, I like a platform you download to your computer that has a data plugin, right? Well, kind of, Badir. You're close. You zigged when you should have zagged, but I'm going to help you out here. This price stability, hopefully, will be like a lineup outside a nightclub and everybody will start coming in. When you get price stability over 17, 16, hopefully it attracts buyers and we can take this thing and sell some more here between 20 and 23. That would be wonderful. But if that doesn't happen, we're going to have to bring it back down to here. Best agenda would be to inventory to correct upwards, because remember that the wholesalers are buying and selling in this 16 to 20 area, right? So they're always net long, right? Wholesalers are generally always net long unless there's unless there's a massive, massive short squeeze, in which case their capital gets stretched, right? The whole business is net long. It's supposed to be long. It'd be like you going to a supermarket and they going, "Can I buy some bananas?" And they go, "No, we're negative 20,000 bananas." You'd be like, "What? What?" Right? We're short bananas, right? Tomorrow is month end. Anything can happen. And with Raj and his curses of short squeezes, you oh, I don't know. All I know is as soon as it warms up a little bit, I'm going to be out there in the beautiful Liverpool sun. It is a perfect day outside. Not a cloud in the sky. You can break any curse with donut bribes, exactly. See, we're gods of order flow are not smiling down upon us, right? We got to put it on sale. Back under 14, probably targets 12, right? He's not a prophet, he's a witch. He curses this market with short squeezes. Witch. Whatever a male witch is called. See, back to cost basis. We're just sitting on top of those 14 and 3/4 bids now. So it's a little rotational. So now you could trade it back and forth. Just don't get too short. Now let's see if London can take out that K low. I'm looking for 67.12. I'm curious about that. I want to see where the bids are as people wake up. As people wake up and start transacting, I want to see where the bids are. Like where are you guys at? See, have you guys ever traded with anybody over the phone not using quotes? Does anybody know what a gray market is? I'm sure all you penny stock folks know what the gray market is. When you trade where there's only a last price, and you have to call the market maker and they'll give you a bid ask. It's not published. So you call them and you go, this particular stock, where you at? He goes, okay, it's 5 bids, 6 offered. Okay, I want to buy 1,000 shares. I could sell you 500 at 6. Okay, done. Bought 500 at 6, and now I'll ask him, where do you stand? And he'll go, I don't know, 550, 675. Right? So right now we're going to see where they stand. How would you guys like to trade that? No charts, no quotes, no nothing. Then it all comes down to cost basis. See how we're coming right? To that balance. That's why people in my coaching class, that's why people, I tell you, draw out balance zones. Keep drawing out balance zones. Practice seeing that. Because then you will see the commerce that's taking place. When you see the commerce that's taking place, you can actually trade it intelligently. Right? Instead of buying 67.20, you can maybe short 19, put your stop at 20. Instead of shorting 67.12 like half an hour ago, you'd be going long. Right? That's to help you go. People go, oh, you'll never know which way it's going to go. Yeah, you do. You just got to wait for it to tell you. Right? So where did we come right down to? That K low at 67.12, didn't we? Yeah. I mean, I had a girlfriend who was a board marker at the Vancouver Stock Exchange. A board marker. Do you guys even know what a board marker is? That's when they have the quote prices up on a wall and they have like a ladder and you have to climb the ladder and climb it and then walk up and down this scaffolding and write the prices on there. It wasn't even digital. Don't worry about the short positions. Just worry about where the shorts are bid. Ah, here's the thing, Johnny. Those levels that I found in COVID were after a massive liquidation. And it was sort of a global reset of the inventory. Now, you could go back to, remember, when was it that Mr. Trump had his Terminator 2 Judgment Day thing? April, right? April? You could probably go back to April and draw similar balance zones after a big, what we call inventory reset. And what that is, Johnny, is that when you get a bunch of people long, right? You get a bunch of people long, and then essentially what you do is you hold them up and you force them to sell much cheaper, right? Like I sell you a car at 100 grand that I know you can't afford, and you pay for it on credit. And then when things go bad, I'm waiting down there, and you're like, I paid 100 grand for it. I'm like, I can give you maybe 20, but let me check with the boss. He says 15, right? I know you paid 100 for it, but I can give you 50. You know what? You're a nice guy. Don't tell my boss. I'll give you 20. That's what happens. That's called a margin reset. That's when anybody who pays for stock with credit basically gets held up and robbed. Now, people who bought their stock with cash, they're still holding their stock. Do you guys understand that? Let it come down. I want to see if we can take out. Here's what I'm watching here. K low. 67.10. When people pay for stock with cash, they never have to sell it. When people pay for stock on credit, guess what? Somebody's always knocking on your door. If the stock goes down, people get flushed. Hope that makes sense. You know where I learned about this? A book written in 1873. So, you know, nothing changes, right? Right? I learned about the concept of margin robberies from a book that was written in 1873. Inside Life on Wall Street, William Worthington Fowler. On Google Books for free. Well worth your time to go read it. You'll learn more from that book than any book on technical analysis or crap, because you'll actually, if you pay attention, it'll tell you how the business works, right? Your trades have to make sense. If your trades don't make sense, then they're not worth taking. That's why you're losing money, because you're doing business that doesn't make any sense. It's as simple as that. People talking about risk reward when they don't even know that it's a market. Right? I mean, if you wanted to sell anything, you would couldn't take it out, eh? Bids. Anybody long 12, 13? I'm not trading because I am not. I'm not feeling that great, so that's why I was going to talk a lot. That is, it's a poor low, Raj. See, one, right? One letter. Poor low, competitive buying right there. Way to go, mother truck. Beautiful, beautiful. Sell it into strength. Put some offers out at 16, 17. You should get taken. Your trades have to make sense. I have a do not disturb sign on my Discord? What does that mean? Oh, this little thing here. Thanks, Moran. How'd that get on there? Do not disturb. You will not receive desktop notifications. Okay. What should I put it to? Invisible? No. Idle? Yes, I'm idle hands. Online. Okay, I'm online. There we go. Good stuff. 14 to 17. 3 points. Beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Nice work. That's what we're here to do. Catch a ride, hitchhike with the order flow, make some quick money. Not easy money. Make our money quick. Get out before they realize that we've taken it. How do we find poor lows and highs on a candlestick chart? It's difficult. You have to be really tuned into that area. I would use a half-hour chart, and you'll be able to, and have like maybe use the bid-ask indicator on a half-hour chart. And when it gets down there and it one ticks it and lifts, you'll just have to pay more attention. You can do it, right? Use a half-hour chart, and when the second candle one ticks the previous candle and the offer lifts, boom, you got a poor low. Does that make sense? I'll see if I can, I'll do a chart replay and see if I can do that. But you're going to have to really zone in and be like on the ball. Here with market profile, it's like a big red flashing light. Poor low, poor low, poor low, right? Here it's like a huge red flashing light. But with a candle chart, you're going to have to be a little bit more dialed in. You know what I mean? I'll see if I can make a video on that. I'm going to do a bunch of stuff this week. Make some videos, stuff like that I'll post in the room. More execution stuff as well. Oh, cool. I didn't even know about that do not disturb sign. Can I change it to get off my grass? uh, any questions? You guys okay? On the 4-hour candle, we're above 67.09. Honestly, this profile, it's getting wider and wider and wider. And we'll see what happens. Just, a lot of you can't get into trouble because of higher margins, so that's a good thing. But yeah, start doing your reviews, do your year-end reviews. That's what this week is for. Yeah, there's a practical reason for to do this as an independent trader. Agui, welcome to the room. So for me, I'm a professional trader, right? I've been raised in the business now. I've been in it for 34 years. And I see people trying to catch breakouts all the time. Yeah, profiles looking like those drag wheels, right, Johnny? So I like trades where my risk is defined, right? So, and I don't trade for a few ticks. My perfect trade is 3 to 4 points on 5 to 10 to 20 E-mini contracts. Okay? So I also realize that probably 99.999% of traders try and go for those big 20-point runs, and they get decimated and crushed because they don't have the skill to do so, because they don't understand that those runs happen quickly, and they're meant to trap you guys who chase price like dogs chase cars. So what I do is I trade a nice balance zone back and forth, right? So here, if I took the look above and fail trade, and say I was short 19 and I covered 14, that's not ticks, Aggie. That's 5 points. So let's do the math. 5 points. Let's round it out to 4 points. Can you hear me? You're on the YouTube, right? 4 points at $50 a contract is $200. Okay? If I do that with 8 contracts, that's a $1,600 trade. All I have to do is do that trade once a day. There's 20 trading days in a month, and I'm making $32,000 a month without killing myself. Do you make 32 grand a month trading? trying to catch those 20-point runs. Do you consistently make $15, $20, $30,000 a month? If you do, that's great. But I can guarantee you that 99% of people in this room do not. So I teach people to trade from a practical reason instead of, instead of being the sucker at the casino, I'm trying to teach you to act like the house. So my trades are scalable. The look below and fail and the look above and fail. Right? If you had done the fail to look below when the market turned, let me show you. We did an example yesterday of the look below and fail, where had you taken the look below and fail of 65.47 as a larger trader, and remember I said, and I told you guys we worked it out on the 4-hour chart. We said large accounts can buy it over 66.70, large accounts being like 2 million plus, 500,000 and under accounts, 66.84 you're long and you're selling. Now, those trades were $30,000 to $75,000, $100,000 trades. So what I teach you what to do here is scalable once you acquire skill. Does that make sense? Because when you first start trading, I don't know what your level of skill is. You might be a $7 million a month trader. I have no idea who I'm talking to, right? And even if you are a $7 million a month trader, I can help you become a $20 million a month trader with this skill set. Does this make sense to you? Cool. Because when you first start trading, you're not going to make money. I don't know where you are. You can DM me if you need any, and welcome. So DM me, feel free to DM me at any time. If you're a larger trader, I'll work with you. You're still an apprentice? Perfect. Learn how to do this. It's the best thing you'll ever do to your mental health and your financial health. Because number one, you'll never blow up accounts if you trade the way I teach you. You'll never have FOMO and all that crap. You'll have a way of doing business. When the market hits that way of doing business, you execute with ruthlessness. Right? When your terms and conditions to do business do not present themselves, you're nice and relaxed. When you're nice and relaxed, you can be relaxed for the opportunity when it comes, instead of always being like most people trade like they're on drugs, where they're like salivating for a trade, right? They're always chasing the trade, right? They're going to get taken advantage of, right? They're desperate. They're desperate. They have no idea what they're doing, right? This way you're calm, you're cool, you know exactly when to strike. LBF means look below and fail. It's the oldest thing in the book, Summers. When supply runs out in any market, price goes up. The look below and fail is based on the oldest business principle known to man. Since the first caveman sold rocks to other cavemen, when he ran out of rocks, the price of rocks would go up. So for one rock, he would get a goat. When he doesn't have much supply, maybe he gets 2 goats for one rock. It's as old as time itself. And it's simple. We want it to be simple for you guys because we want you, instead of sitting around trying to figure out all these indicators and patterns and all this, we want you to make some money and go and enjoy life. Wouldn't you rather be at the beach than looking at options order flow that you can't figure out anyway? Right? Right? Go enjoy time with your family. Have fun. All right, and I'm done for the morning. I'm going to hop before my cold meds wear off and I become useless. Thanks everyone. Trade safe out there. Come visit us at the tradingsyndicate.org. It's tradingsyndicate.org. I'll put it in here again. And we're having Steve's always going to it'll be like cheap if you sign up for these Thanksgiving sales he has. And if anyone's interested for one-on-one coaching, that's me. I'm vwaptrader1 on X. Thank you so much for being with us. If you have questions, reach out. I'm always around. Thanks, folks. Bye for now. Be safe out there.